Joel was very gracious in his introduction of me and kind of my experience and what I work in every day. Today I'm going to go through what the game changer is as far as what I see in marketing today, what we see in mobile. Everybody is obviously engaged. Everybody's an early adopter. They scan the QR codes, they're sending the text messages, they're going to the optimized sites. However, the majority of us as marketers out there right now are thinking it up, but not necessarily thinking it through. So I'm going to give you some high-level information. I know there's tons and tons of access to content and information out there about who's adopting mobile, who's using mobile, how it's being used, and what we use it for. So I'm going to narrow that down specifically as to what it looks like on a high level, who's actually using mobile, what I would consider best case scenarios, best practices for organizations that have not only adopted it early, but have used it effectively to really bring it into their marketing mix. The key for mobile, it is another avenue to get people in. I'm a firm believer in email marketing, specifically data marketing, to make sure that your message matches your consumer. And that's what today's about. How many in here currently have a mobile optimized website that they're working with? A couple shows of hands. How many people have dabbled in QR codes? Nice. Success with QR codes? Okay. How about SMS? MMS? All right. Everybody's done a little bit here. And as well, please, this is an open forum. That's the reason why we're doing this in a breakout session. So as we're moving through, or as I'm going through my deck, please feel free to raise your hand and speak out, say, hey, you know what, we're doing this, or whatever. I'd much rather have a conversation and a dialogue, not just with our consumers of B2B and B2C, but also with you guys here today. So with that, we'll start moving forward. Mobile, within the last 2 years, it was one of those, oh, well, you know, let's see what happens. Let's see how it takes off. I think it's going to have some feet, or it's going to have some legs. I can tell you what we've seen just in the last 24 months, mobile has not only taken off, but it is booming. It is the fastest, well, back up 2 steps. It's one of the most exciting times to be in marketing because there's things that are happening so fast, so frequently. The USA Today this morning has a new article on security and mobile with PayPal now. There's MSNBC this morning has a skit or a piece on how mobile is currently engaging consumers and how people are driving relational communications from it. So every day there is something that's happening, and it's just going to continue to pick up. 2011, the paradigm shift, customers prefer mobile. This is the first time that mobile devices have outpaced shipping on desktop or PC devices. So with that, we're seeing more people engaged on a mobile device for the first time than we are seeing them on a laptop or a PC. When people start comparing it, it's a difficult matrix to put to any other previous market due to the fact that it's growing twice as fast as www. If you think back 18 years ago or so when the World Wide Web came out, everybody said, oh, well, you know, let's get a website up. Let's hurry up and get something there. Well, not everybody, not all of the consumers could afford a computer. So therefore, you were limited. Your universe was much smaller by comparison to what it is today and people that are able to engage on mobile. 2012, we see people doing it right as opposed to what we've done with 2011. Where we're early adopters, we're getting out there. QR codes, I mean, how many people have read multiple articles over QR codes that said, you know, fail? You see them on the back of semi-trucks going down the interstate. So somebody at a conference, they were the big thing to come out of conferences about a year ago, where everybody and their brother put on their display ads at these different events. Bandwidth was very limited, and how many people want to stand there over the phone trying to scan a QR code to access information that wasn't going to be relevant in the long term? So we started this year and through the fourth quarter of 11, looking at how to make that experience immersive and make it effective to where people are actually going to get something from it as opposed to just a whiz-bang of experience. Complete mobile ecosystem exists today. SMS, MMS, QR codes, applications, social, email, mobile CRM on tablets, which is a brand new phenomenon that's coming out, to be able to mobilize a sales force, give them real-time information at the point of sale so you can close, you can shorten that sales cycle, but also drive that conversation with your prospects and customers, which gives your sales force a lot more power by using the muscle of your CRM. Early trends don't show any signs of slowing down. Tablets, geez. Anybody go out and get the new iPad? There we go. I did. I like the Iris, it's good. At the end of the day, there was what, 3 million sales in 24 hours? That's huge. So we're seeing a huge adoption rate of tablets that just came out 4 years ago, 5 years ago, they were introduced. So now you're seeing this trend pick up and people are really starting to use it. The information is staggering. This is from marketer.com, emarketer.com. 50% of the population by 2015 is going to be mobile. That's strong. That's 50% of the population. We can communicate on mobile device. And we're going to find that the trends are actually going to show that pick up quite a bit because it's so prolific across each one of the platforms. 80% of the population is using a mobile phone. 30% of the population is using a tablet by 2015. These numbers, I think, are estimated a little bit low based off of adoption rates that we're currently seeing. However, that's what the experts are saying. So we need to make sure that we're in this space. As marketers, we need to make sure we're driving that communication, that conversation across all of our platforms. Truly, for the first time ever, you're able to make traditional media and traditional marketing connected, to capture data, to do the all-important thing, which is your marketing. We want to make sure that we turn that conversation into a two-way that allows many opportunities or vehicles to be able to get those end users in, to be subscribers, and support a two-way conversation through those. What are people using mobile for? Everything. I venture to get there. There's a couple of people on right now. As soon as we leave, everybody's going to go out and they're going to start emailing, catching up. What's going on? What's going on for our latest news? What's texting? How's the wife and kids doing? You're connected. We're connected on our mobile devices all day long, every day, with some meaning or fashion. So when people are using it, as far as consumers, 93% of them are using it at home. 87% are using it on the go, i.e. mobile. In store, 77%. We're starting to see these numbers drastically increase, mostly because it's fun, it's social. The advent of Facebook and Twitter, the opportunity to be able to text and communicate with all of your friends and family instantaneously has never been available to us before. So now that it is, how do we harness all of that power and make it effective as opposed to just a dead-end communication? 87% of smartphone owners, 87% of smartphone owners access the internet or email in their hand. Now, let's differentiate feature phones from smartphones. I'm sure everybody in here knows this, but I'll just cover this just for basics. Smartphones can actually access browsing. Feature phones, they can send and receive calls, send and receive text message. They can have some limited capability as far as MMS or image and video transfer. 87% of people that have a smartphone are accessing the browser from it. That's pretty strong. 13% of organizations have mobile integrated email. This is, Joel and I had a long conversation with ExactTarget, who's really starting to refocus what their efforts are to be able to see their emails optimized across multiple platforms. As a marketer, when I'm 100% on board with ExactTarget and their email platform and delivering messaging and delivering the correct message to the right person. Now, how people are using their mobile devices, I'm scanning all my emails all day long. And Joel, I didn't hear your presentation as well, so I apologize. But I'm scanning those. I'm seeing what's valuable, what's not valuable. I'm discarding what's not valuable. I'm keeping what's valuable. So when I get home later, I'm either going to look at my tablet while I'm watching TV. Or I'm going to get back to the office and I'm going to pop open my laptop, my desktop, and actually see those emails that I've got interested in. We also see people that have multiple email boxes. Average is 4. One for business, one for personal, one for offers and value adds, and then the third for whatever you're attaching to your Facebook account that you shouldn't have. So, we're seeing people that are diversifying. We need to make sure that those communication opportunities are loading in that mobile device so when we have our end user see it, the message is going to be right, the offer is going to be right, and it's going to be quick and instantaneous. And let me take 2 steps back. Actually, I'll just stall here for a second. The end user experience, beyond anything else in traditional, non-traditional, brand awareness, email marketing, the end user experience is, if I leave you with nothing else today, the focal point of everything that you need to pay attention to in mobile marketing. The end user experience. How many times have we scanned a QR code and went to a static site? You're spending all your time pinching, trying to figure out where you're going. You can't figure out how to opt in. For crying out loud, if you're working on a desktop, you certainly aren't going to be able to find it on mobile phone. How many people signed up for text alerts? Pretty nice. Then all of a sudden we started getting bombarded with text alerts every day, every week. The statistics for texting started to drop once people started, retailers started to adopt this. It's still pretty strong. I think 98% of all text messages are opened within 3 hours of receipt. It's pretty high. The problem is we haven't used it in an effective manner to where that content is real, it's right now, that user wants it and has asked for it, and we need to be very cognizant of their personal and private space. Another beautiful thing across this trend in mobile, it spans every socioeconomic demographic. With the World Wide Web and computers, it was a lot slower, longer development process because not everybody in the world could buy a computer. And they were very expensive. They were $2,000, $3,000, and then you had to buy an internet service package or whatever that plug-in dial-up was that you waited 10 minutes for. Not so with mobile. You see all incomes engaging, and mostly the lower incomes are engaged at a higher level because they can't afford both devices. They need a phone, might as well be able to access the internet on it as well. So it spans all socioeconomic demographics as well, which there's not a lot of media that does that as far as the digital space. Trends are staggering. Smartphone growth is consistently growing. This is from Q4 of 11, 44% to 12. Growth in mobile and smartphone devices, tablets and e-readers. This is a phenomenon. I think they're raffling off the Kindle Fire this afternoon. How many times do you see that they're giving away Kindle Fires? They're giving away a Google tablet or an iPad or even an old iPad. I mean, these things are starting to really become cost effective. They're hitting multiple price points. You're tying your data plan to it, your service plan to it, so everybody can access it. The beauty of how people are communicating with it is really what us as marketers need to focus on, because we're able to hit them when the radio used to, the television used to, the newspaper used to. It's all kind of second and third to DVRs and Sirius satellite, and the papers are kind of moving away, period. But these tablets are where people are sitting in front of the television, they're scrolling, they're surfing, they're connected, they're engaged, they're Facebooking, they're Twittering. Now all of a sudden we've got a captive audience in the evening when they're most apt to make the buying decision. Now we can make that television commercial a little bit more relevant. I'm not saying put a QR code on a television commercial. We'll go ahead and do that. Wow. I don't think too many people are sitting there ready to go up and see on that code. However, if you have connectivity on that television commercial where people can actually plug in the URL, plug in the generalized URL, and start tracking that organically through your CRM, now you can put quantitative analysis directly to your television, your radio, all of your information, as opposed to going with a Nielsen or a TAPSCAN type of historic purchase. Smartphone subscribers engage in rich media activities, 52% growth from 10 to 11. Smartphone users are going online. They're using their mobile device to access the internet. They're not just checking email, they're checking prices. Who here shopped Black Friday last year? Who here saw all of the articles that came out with the biggest segment growth, 15%, was in mobile purchases? That's strong. Very strong, especially in the economy that we're in. So people are starting to engage. When they're engaging, they're going online, they're checking prices, they're scanning, they're making a purchase decision. Downloading apps, second highest on the chart. This is quite honestly what makes the mobile platform relevant. You see iOS, Apple, they've got over, 400,000 apps. Google Android platform has over 250,000.
What kind of apps are those? I mean, those aren't typically retailers' apps.
Right.
Or
It's a broad spectrum, and we'll talk about apps here in a little bit. I'm going to break down and talk about SMS specifically, mobile optimized websites specifically, and then apps. But you're absolutely right. The marketplace is flooded with apps because 3 years ago we thought, hey, I need to get in the market. They're easy to develop, they're easy to get out there. The problem is they weren't end user immersive. And most people that download them, delete them, or didn't use them more than once. So it has to be effective. Social, Facebook, again, monthly usage, daily usage. We're seeing more people tweet and send Facebook and likes and posts on mobile than on desktops. Mobile devices rule and warnings at the end of evenings holds true. In the mornings we get up, we start surfing, we're checking out what's going on our cell phone, we're sending text messages, we're calling people, we're communicating, we're engaged, as well as with the tablet. Through the midday, this orange line is the computer. That's when we're at work. We're engaged where we're actually finally sitting in one location for any period of time, and we're engaged on the computer. We're sending our emails, we're checking those emails that we scrolled through our mobile phone or mobile device earlier that day or tablet and said, okay, these are the ones that are important. So I can focus on what I need to get done during the day. And then it drops drastically off at about 5:30. Falls off a cliff. And mobile tablets go through the roof because that's what people are using them for. They're using them when they're traveling. They're using them when they get home. They're sitting in front of the television. They're surfing that. They're seeing what's going on. I know I do it. I've got 3 kids. We just invested in an aquarium. If anybody has an aquarium, let me tell you, it's a bane of my existence. I never knew keeping fish was that difficult. That's why I opted out of the dog and the cat. Exactly. So we see a PetSmart commercial come on, and all of a sudden, my 7-year-old, he's on the iPad, he's surfing the different kind of fish we can put in the tank. I'm like, wow, what's going on? This is the way consumers are now engaged with your brand. This is the way consumers are engaged with your products. Mobile is affecting every aspect of our lives. Jeez. I mean, you can't go anywhere without seeing it. You can't read a newspaper without seeing it. USA Today, early adopter. I'm trying to think who else had QR codes throughout their entire newspaper now. In fact, it's Microsoft Tags. So they can upload images, they can get more detailed content. They're tying it to a YouTube channel, so they're leveraging each one of these different channels that they're currently invested in. And again, it's not living in a silo. Mobile cannot live in a silo, and it cannot be effective in a silo, regardless of whether it's a SMS campaign or a mobile campaign or a QR code campaign or an application. It's got to be involved in the breadth of your marketing mix. And if it's not, it's going to fail. Brands are definitely taking notice of this growth. We